Hello, and welcome to Conversations Worth Your While, a show in which I chat with really cool people about interesting topics to spark, inspire, and motivate personal and professional change. And today's topic is reclaiming calm. This conversation is worth your while if you're stressed out and ready to learn how to calm yourself and your nervous system. And you not only want relief, you want to build resilience so that you can bounce back more quickly and so that stress isn't controlling your life. And also, if you're ready to get back to functioning like yourself again. So let's start with some introductions. I'm Linda Bucher. My gift is lighting the way for those who are excited about giving their gifts to the world. And I love helping smart, passionate leaders to discover their path, to balance their lives, and to align their energy and gifts so that they can make their mark on the world. I'm an authentic, heart centered master coach, a mindset mentor, a transformational speaker, a show host, an author, and an MBA because I refuse to choose. And I'd love to work with you if you know that you have important gifts to share with the world and you didn't come this far to get only this far, and you know that it's time to make a difference. And today, I have the pleasure of being joined by my friend and fellow master coach, Theresa Trosky. Theresa specializes in working with people going through divorce or who have the battle scars of divorce. And it goes so much deeper than that. So, hello, Theresa. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Linda. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to discuss this with you.
I know. Reclaiming calm. Well, before we talk about reclaiming calm, can you tell us a little bit more about who you serve and like what you do?
Absolutely. For the past, 8, 9 years, I have been partnering with divorcees um, to end the inner war,
Mm.
to open their hearts to love and to let life love them back.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. So reclaiming calm fits right at the beginning of this, right? Because it's probably really hard to do all of those things from this anxious, stressed out place. So this topic, reclaiming calm, I'm so excited to talk about. And before we talk about it, I just want to let the audience know that you have this amazing class coming up that's going to be an extension of our topic today. So if anyone listening after you listen to our conversation and you're like, holy crap, I totally want that, at the end we'll tell you how you can learn more about this class that Teresa's running soon, like next week. um, for actually reclaiming calm to actually take you through that exercise. So it's going to be beautiful. So we'll talk about that later. So, all right. So, Teresa, why is this topic of reclaiming calm so important to you?
It has been so important to me, especially over the last year and a half. I've been through all three of life's top traumatic stressors in a really short period of time, along with just smaller stressors after smaller stressors. It got to the point where my nervous system became kind of maladaptive. My stress response became maladaptive, and it got really hard to feel like I felt so disconnected from myself and really the best parts of me, and I couldn't function like myself.
Mm, that's hard. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, when you lose yourself, there's not much you can do from that point of not being yourself, not feeling like yourself. Going through the motions, you can only do that so long. And when you're not yourself and you don't really know what's going on, you can't even understand the triggers. There's so much in life that is so difficult already that when you can't connect with who you are and show up yourself, it's it's just incredibly hard. I had a time with the biggest, probably the number one stressor I had was when I became a sudden widow on May 3rd, 2006. I just woke up one day. My husband did not wake up. I had three adopted children, ages 3, 5, and 7. I'm a sudden widow, a sudden single mom, and I, my nervous system was a mess. I swear to God, in 2 days, I lost 15 pounds. How does your body lose 15 pounds in 2 days? And I was in a fog for about a year and a half. I think it was like an actual brain fog. And I thought I was making smart decisions. And then when I got out of the fog, I was like, what was I thinking? The level of stress that I was showing up at work. I was doing all the things I was supposed to be doing, but I know I wasn't doing any of them well, let alone mothering well, um, because I was in this big, just this high state of anxiety and stress and overwhelm, and it's just everything just felt like it kept piling on. So it's a really, I know how hard it can really be. And I know that people in our audience, probably the reason they're listening is they love the title Reclaiming Calm. So if you are feeling a high level of stress, and if you feel disconnected from yourself, you're unable to do things right that you were able to do in the past, we want you to know that it's totally possible to reconnect with yourself and to reconnect with the other people in your life, to lose that brain fog, to reconnect with that creativity, to find focus, to find motivation. And it's possible. So, Theresa, back to you. Um, Tell us a little bit about what happens when we're in this high level of stress and anxiety.
Well, when we're really stressed out, the stress response itself kicks us into fight or flight. And in that place, our brains actually stop working the way that they're meant to work. The information flows up from our body into our brain, which means it hits the most primitive part of the brain first, but it doesn't hit this part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex that's responsible for all executive functionings, um, including creativity, including the focus and the concentration piece.
Mm,
Just it makes it very, very difficult because the information stops at the limbic brain, which is much more primitive. So yeah, this part of our brain that we're used to using to function in everyday life is pretty much offline, and
wow.
it stays offline until we can, calm our nervous system and get back to feeling safe in our bodies.
Mm, right. So these multiple stressors, they actually change our nervous system. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, so the more, and we don't have control over the stressors that, happen in our lives. We can't, I couldn't have predicted that, for example, my business would be hacked, and at the same time my car would break down, and at the same time my landlord would raise my rent 50%. Couldn't have predicted those things, but each of them together, taken one after another, made it so much harder for my nervous system to process what was going on, and it couldn't keep up. It couldn't,
Mm,
um, you know regulating it seemed like an impossibility at the time.
at the time. I like that you said that because I know, because you've shared with me that there is a way to tap into our nervous system and activate this parasympathetic response, which in layman's terms means we have the ability to access and use our body's natural ability to calm ourselves. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, isn't that a beautiful thing
Yeah.
that we have that ability? Yeah, so our nervous systems have, our autonomic nervous system has two states. And the parasympathetic is, that's kind of where we want to be. That's where we feel our normal functioning, we're connected with ourselves. But when we're triggered into fight or flight, we're in the sympathetic state. And we can actually go in, because those parts of the autonomic nervous system is a physical part of our body. So within each of us, there exists this beautiful, brilliant power to calm our nervous system, and consequently calm our bodies,
Mm,
and our minds follow.
mm. You know what's really beautiful about that? It doesn't require the outside world to stop having stress, right? Those things outside of our power. So when you know you have this power within yourself and learn how to use it, which we're going to talk about in a minute. I'm very excited about that. Then you recognize that it's not that something or something someone outside of you needs to change in for order for you to find that calm. This reclaiming calm is you, the power of you reclaiming it for yourself using your body's natural ability. I adore when a solution to a big, hairy issue is within our power, someone's power. I adore it because once you know that, you can stop being in the land of hoping and waiting for someone or something else to change in order for you to feel better, have a life, make, find motivation, find your way. All those things are always within your power. And once you become aware of that, then you stop hoping and waiting, right? Because it doesn't work anyway, which we all know. We've all tried that, been there, done that for decades for me, I will say. But now you can say, okay, so if it's possible, that is the magical place to be, because if you never thought it was possible, you thought something else had to change, you would never take the steps to learn. Once you know it's possible, your brain goes, how, and that leads me to our next segment. So what does it entail? Is it a big job to use your body's natural ability to calm? Can I do it quickly? Is it going to take me 6 months to learn? Do I have to practice for an hour and a half every day? Like, what is it? How do you, like, what does it entail?
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say yes, absolutely, to feeling empowered to be able to do something about your stress, because honestly, I had no idea until I needed this for myself. And so, I hit the books and researched and all of that because that's what I do. But yeah, I mean, it is absolutely empowering to be able to do that for yourself. And no, it is not difficult at all. It's so simple. The tools are literally, some of them it really depends. Let me just state this. The level of stress, the intensity of our stress response, right? It's individual for each of us based on what's going on in our lives. And, just like I said, if you're having multiple stressor after multiple stressor, it's going to be so much harder to calm your nervous system, and more important, even to calm your nervous system, than it is if you've just, and not to minimize like work stress, or, your child's going through something at school and you're trying to support them. But yeah, it's so important to be able to calm that and to work with your nervous system so that you can stay calm. And it helps you reclaim calm and remain calm when new stressors hit. And it also helps you build resilience and bounce back when more stressors are added. You
That's
know,
that's beautiful. So what you're saying is these tools that you're going to be teaching in this class not only help you right now with these big stressors that either it's a big giant one or a couple giant ones or a whole bunch of little ones that just keep coming and it's a relentless, won't give up, they just keep coming. And so but once you learn these tools, then you can you're armed with this, so when the next big thing happens, you don't have to get into the place you are now where you just don't even know where to turn, right? You can
right.
start using, you can keep using these tools. These are like lifelong tools once you learn them.
Absolutely. And, I mean, I really think that building a practice using these tools, and, as I was saying, the tools themselves are so easy. Literally, you can shift your nervous system in as little as a minute with some of them. And again, that depends on your own individual level of stressors, but
Hmm.
it can be really fast. And there may be other times where you're so super stressed and anxious that it takes more time. But when you kind of establish this baseline by practicing these tools just here and there, when you notice your own
Hmm.
stress and anxiety come up, the more it's actually like building a muscle. And,
Ah.
it's called like expanding your window of tolerance, really, for like stress. So, so your ability to handle stress actually improves. So yeah,
That's
it's like,
yeah, that's beautiful. It's a gift that keeps on giving and invaluable for people. Invaluable. And
Yeah.
I love that you're saying you just practice as needed. So it's not like, because overwhelmed, stressed out people, the last thing they have is an hour and a half a day to, like, like maybe like, oh, go meditate. Well, like, you know what? I would if I could, but I can't. It just doesn't work for me. I don't have that much time. I can't keep my head, in this peaceful state, right? So I can't do anything for an hour or an hour and a half. I don't have it. I can't focus for that long, So I love that you're saying these are like little tiny things you can just practice here and there. And that's how we build habits. But then I know myself, because I've given webinars where I've said stress is inevitable, but being stressed out is optional. and right, and
Yeah,
right, and
sure.
and the tools that we teach, and you have, even because you've done so much research, and your tools are much deeper than the ones that I go through. I deal with more everyday stress, not this overwhelming stress, which is your expertise area. But they become second nature. Eventually you don't even know you're doing them, you're just doing them. And then what happens is you recognize when there's a shit storm around you, you're staying peaceful, and you're like, isn't this fascinating? All the people around me are all in a tizzy, and I'm staying peaceful. And I'm not, and it's not because I have my head in the sand. It's because I'm actually feeling peaceful, because I've been using these tools like here and there as needed, and now they're just kind of becoming second nature. So then these giant stressors have less of an effect on us, because we are becoming resilient, and having these tools that we can use almost in a moment's notice. Well, like with the muscle, it becomes a reflex then, like what you said with the muscle. So I love that you brought that up. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you demonstrate one or take us through something? Like, I don't
Yeah,
even know what you're going to
absolutely.
do, but
I would love to. I would love
okay.
to. So, yeah, it works really fast for most people. So what we're going to do is, like, you can feel at the base of your throat right here, right above your clavicle, right? There's an indentation there.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to use the word nipple here, people. So, nipple level, this is like, where your xiphoid is and kind of where your sternum, right? You're going to go right in between those 2 points, kind of nipple level and
Okay. All right. I'm finding it.
that indentation
Butternut
there,
level. Got it.
right? So you're going to use 4 fingers each hand and find that spot, and you're going to press inward. And as we do, take a deep breath in and release it. And you want to press pretty firmly,
Mm.
right? So you're actually basically touching your nervous system doing this, right? So, and then breathe in again. And you can exhale through your mouth. You can even make a noise. And you can just do that until you feel more peaceful and calm. I feel more peaceful and calm now. Oh, yeah,
So do
I'm
I.
getting
Probably
the
want to
fire.
take a nap soon.
I know it really does. It works. And it's good. I'll just say, making that sound through your mouth when on the exhale can really be helpful, because that also activates that parasympathetic response. So, yeah, with that one simple tool, do you feel different? Let me
I
ask you.
do. Yeah, I feel calmer. I mean, I'm not trying to use that word because that's the title of our of our talk today, but I feel calmer. And what's interesting is my default energy. I'm pretty like, as you know, you've known me for many years. I'm pretty like, woo, 500 watts, um, high energy and pretty happy. But that doesn't mean that I don't need a break from that too. That's hot. That's like woo, right? So reclaiming calm. What's interesting to me is it's just to give my adrenals like a break from even my own natural energy, right? That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing. And so it's a good, like, cause I'm not like, I don't nap. That doesn't, I don't need to nap. I have so much energy and I get energy from other people. So the more I'm with other people, the more energy I have, which is why I love to be a show host. And so, but I recognize that benefits of having a tool like this to just bring it down, because what I do know is when I bring it down, I reconnect way better with my creativity. That I know. When I stop my brain from going, let's figure it out, let's figure it out, let's do this, let's do that, because it's all exciting, like all these bright shiny objects for me, so exciting. But it gets me out of my head and connected more with my intuition when I'm more calm. And I've learned some other tools myself. I think of it more like a dial, and because for my 500 watts, it's a dimmer. Not that I'm dimming the anything about me, but I'm just, except for my energy level, the all those I think of it like these electrons are going. We're really busy. We're really excited. We got so much to do. There's so much exciting stuff in this world, and then I can just bring that down. Like I do it when I coach. I don't show up like this when I'm coaching my clients. I know I have this ability to dial it down, and this is now a new tool that I have thanks to you, to be able to dial down in another way. I absolutely adore it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. I would like to just tag on to that real quickly because when I started using these tools, I started recognizing like how often my adrenaline was like coursing through my body, even sitting at my desk just working, writing, planning, I mean, you name it, organizing, and I would just but I didn't recognize that I was in fight or flight until I started using these tools and my nervous system really started regulating. And I was able to remain calm.
Right.
So it helped me recognize that, and it also helped me recognize, okay, it changes the way now I'm going to approach my work. It changes the way I meet myself and treat myself
Mm.
in my work, and increases self-awareness, which is so important. So yeah, I totally feel that for you, Linda, because you
Beautiful.
are the mega bulb.
I know.
You are.
I know. I know. Oh, thank you, Teresa. This has been beautiful. Okay, so now I'm excited for you to tell us a little bit more about this class, because people think, like, all right, well, first of all, it's September, so it's back to school. I think we're hardwired for let's get at it. I just actually sent a email out to, my list about how I always feel this September energy, this nudge to like get back to it, because I take my foot off the gas for the summer, because hey, it's summer vacation, and I mean, like, since you're 5 years old, this is like in your brain, it's summer vacation,
Right.
right? So I feel this back to school energy, and it's positive, and my energy and motivation ebbs and flows, right? So it flows, I go full force, and then it ebbs. It could ebb for like a week, and I might not get a lot done in a week. That's how I naturally am. So I'm smart enough to know when I feel this little nudge of energy, inspiration, and opportunity also comes my way, that I want to like seize it. Like, okay, it's now, it's time. And so I love that you're doing this class in September. But I also love, and I want you to tell us a little bit more about it, that it's not a big giant thing, just like we were talking about. If it took me an hour to do this every day, I know I wouldn't do it. I mean, it'd be just like one more stressor, right? So how have you designed this class so that it's like so easy, simple, and not another to do?
Yeah, and you're exactly spot on, because taking a class, starting a meditation practice when you're super stressed is like the last thing you want to do, because it's so challenging if you've never meditated. You don't want to have to learn something like that. So yeah, I specifically designed Reclaiming Calm with that in mind, like respecting and honoring the stress level that you're carrying now. So it's basically a 22-day class kind of. I'll explain that in a minute. And every day, well, the classes can be held in a Facebook group because community is so important.
Mm.
Um, Not just for well, and not feeling alone in this, because there is a lot of shame for people sometimes around anxiety and stress, but it's so natural and so normal for all of us as human beings. But to be amongst people who, are in it with you, that's really powerful, and that you can share um, stories with, and this worked for me, this didn't work for me, what did and I can interact with everybody there too. um, so Facebook community is the place that it happens, private of course. And every day I'll deliver in that group a video that's about 5 minutes long. That's about the average time of the videos. 5 minutes a day. You go in, you watch the video, you learn either a piece of information to support you in using the tools and helping you understand, because I find when we understand why we're doing what we do and why it works, we're so much more likely to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so 21 days of basically 5-minute videos to learn a tool or concept every day. Most of them are tools and techniques. Again, some that you can use in minutes. And then we'll have 3 community gatherings via Zoom, over Zoom, because it's really important. So, spoiler alert, um, we need other people to co-regulate with. It's one of
Mm.
the greatest things we can do for ourselves. So that community,
Ah,
too, our nervous systems are constantly reading the nervous systems of the people around us, which, hello, makes it really important that you choose wisely who you surround yourself with.
yeah.
So when you're in a class of people who are learning to calm themselves, and we're doing these community gatherings to talk about your experiences, answer questions, whatever, those community gatherings are going to be completely organic and natural. It's going to be all about what you need. And then there'll be a little something, something at the end of each one so that you leave feeling uplifted and calm. So that's the format.
Oh.
Super easy.
That's really beautiful. So I love that it's just a 5 minute something they can learn. And you're absolutely right. When we know why we're doing something, we're much more likely to do it versus don't just tell me what to do. Like, help me to understand why this will work for me, why this is important, um, and and being educated. People who are ready to help themselves, and I hope everyone who's listening is a person ready to help themselves. We're not born with this knowledge. That's why we can learn from experts like you. Um, and you're not just an expert because you're a master coach. You're an expert because you've mastered this, because life has thrown at you we'll call them gifts of incredible amounts of crap, because I know your story. And
Yeah.
and I believe you were given all that crap because your purpose was to be able to master this so that you can give, this is your gift that you are giving to the world. And that's my jam. So I recognize it when I see it, girlie.
I know
So,
you do. I know
yeah.
you do. And that's exactly why I'm so passionate about it, because it's just, I think, we need a playbook for this kind of thing. We need
Right?
to know how to work with our bodies and what's happening inside us. So
And
important
it really is.
for our
And I
well-being.
love that you've got this community aspect, because people are so often trying to go it alone when they don't even know
Yeah.
what to do. And like, you've done a ton of research, but most people don't want to do that amount of research. So to have it boiled down into these 5 minute increments is so amazing and beautiful. And that community, now I know, I love that it's a private Facebook group. And just because it's community doesn't mean people have to, they don't you're not obligated to like tell your deepest darkest secrets, right? It's a safe space. You have run group programs many times before. I know this about you. What I know about you is all right, so Theresa has coached me, everybody. I will let you know. She's been a coach to me. And when we're done, I feel like I've been wrapped in a warm blanket of love. Like, this is Theresa, one of her gifts. So it's so safe that I can share without any issue or worry of of being exposed, but it's certainly voluntary. And I think that's an important thing for people to know. You'll know when you'll feel it when it's time to speak up and share. And I know also because it's a group, they can private message you as well, right? And
Absolutely.
and then,
Absolutely.
right, like, because I think what's nice about a private message is someone wants to know something, but they don't want to be the one to ask. They private message you, and then when you get in the group call, the Zooms, you can address it without, calling out that person as well. So even if you're the kind of person who doesn't feel like you want to share it all, you just want to have these tools, but you don't want to be, you're not ready to like be so vulnerable, right? If you're not ready for that, that's okay. This would still be a huge benefit in so many ways.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's, and the thing too about the videos is you watch them in your own time. I mean, I recommend penciling in 5 minutes a day to watch the video. So, you don't feel behind. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, your level of participation within the community is completely voluntary. If you don't want to come to the community gatherings, don't come. If you want to, boy, we would love to have you.
Right.
Um, even if you just come and you sit and you soak up,
Yeah.
what's happening, because
Right.
there are usually, there's always people who want to talk.
I
But
know.
if
I
you
know.
just want to listen in, that's great too.
Yeah.
So, um, and I want to be sure to address this one thing, because I haven't really talked about this publicly yet in talking about this class and talking about this work, is that when you use these tools, so you're calming yourself, and because other people who are around you, their nervous system is right, reading yours, the people around you calm down.
Hmm.
And if you've got kids who are anxious or stressed, wow, you can teach them these tools, which is really great because we teach what we have to learn.
Right. Yeah. That's
And
so
if
true.
you teach your kids these really little things that they can do. And I know so many kids and teenagers in particular right now are really struggling with anxiety and
Yeah.
depression. So it's really the gift that keeps giving, the regulated.
Yeah. And they see what we do. And if they see us helping ourselves, our children are more likely to have that. They learn through example that, oh my gosh, my mom or my dad was so freaked out and so stressed out. And then all of a sudden, I watched them get calm and I watched what they were doing. And, now I recognize that I can have that power. So you're empowering your children, you're empowering the people around you when you're leading by example, and then you're leaving a beautiful legacy for them as well. So
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. So yeah,
beautiful. Okay.
thank you.
So here's something I want to bring up before we tell them where they can learn more about your class. And
Mhm.
I don't normally do this when I talk on with the conversations with your wild, whatever you're offering, I tell people how to look at it and how to get it, and maybe they check it out, maybe they don't. But when I went to your webpage about it and I saw, did it say $29? Oh my
It
God.
it
Teresa,
does, and I know
that's it.
I keep getting that response. I keep getting that response. It is only $29. This is the first time I'm running this, and I would really like to gather a wonderful community together. I want to make it available for the people who really need it. And I know so many people are struggling with, financial issues right now. Finances are such a
Yeah.
huge source of stress for so many of us.
Yes.
So, to make it possible for people, and again, I work with divorcing and divorced women, and a lot of times they're single parents or really, getting $11 a month in child support for 5 kids, kind
Right.
of thing. Um, but yeah, it,
Right.
I think we all need to know it. So yeah, $29.
Okay. Well, that is ridiculously generous, but I love that you've priced it for such a heart-centered reason at that level. So I never talk about the pricing when I'm doing a conversation with you, but I was like, I had to ask you about that. I was like, what is going on? But I love your response. It's so heart-centered, and yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. And also, when you get the feedback, you can make it, even better the next time you run this particular one. So, so cool. I love it. So, thank you. All right. So, the link, that people, because some people listen and don't watch, right? So, I want to spell out the link for them.
Yeah.
It's just a bit.ly link, right?
Yes.
So, can you tell us what it is?
Yeah. It's bit.ly/reclaiming calm.
That's easy. bit.ly/reclaiming calm. Okay. If you're listening, go there right now. Just read about it. And I know, and also I know you put a little video on that page as well.
I
Um,
did.
yeah, it's, I mean, how can you not? And I want to bring up too, it's not, you don't have to be divorced or going through a divorce to, this is about anybody going through any big stressors or just a barrage of small stressors that just won't let up. If you're just not feeling yourself, or you're feeling a little disconnected and having trouble focusing, this class, I mean, what do you got to lose? Nothing. So this is the class. So, oh my gosh, this has been so beautiful, Theresa. I want to thank you for being on Conversations Worth Your While. Um, Once again, I'm Linda Bucher, helping you to lighten your load, to unleash that bigness inside of you, and make an impact while living a balanced, rewarding life. And I'd like to thank Theresa Trosky for your insight and your gifts. And I'd like to thank you, our audience, for sharing your time with us today. So please subscribe and remember to check the description where you'll find our contact information and the link to Reclaiming Calm, that class, or the information page, and some other free tools and resources that I am gifting you. And so until next time, make sure that you've made this conversation worth your while by fueling the spark that it ignited.